like a kite.
The whole wrap?
The whole wrap. The whole thing just peeled right off the top of the roof and landed on a cop car.
Oh, it
landed on a cop car. Yeah, and they got pulled over. Luckily,
it says Jägermeister?
It says Jägermeister. It's Jägermeister all over the box, man.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this, watching this. Welcome to another episode of the Lambo and Leroy Show. Thanks for joining in. Today we got a really awesome guest. He's been in our industry for a very long time.
Yeah.
Sean, who do we got?
We got Josh Daley with Daley Visual. And first off, thank you. For those that don't know, his wife, they're always good at reminding us of things that we should be aware of.
Yes.
Reminded myself today, and I think you too. We have 12 days left till SEMA. And, for myself, that's a busy time. But I'm trying to – it's busy for me because I'm trying to get my own stuff done.
Yeah.
Josh over here is busy trying to get everybody's stuff done.
Yes.
And so for the fact that you were able to come today, give us some time, we really appreciate it. Thank you. Guys,
my pleasure.
When it comes to vehicle wraps, I mean, nowadays there's a lot of different people that do it. There's a lot of tools and stuff are out there, but he was one of the pioneers. And more so than that, like anyone that's had their vehicle wrapped by someone else and then had Josh do it, there is a sometimes massive range of quality.
Yeah, sure.
He is taking, I keep going on and on. I'll probably let you start talking about yourself too, but he takes a ton of pride in the work that he does, but it comes from being around it from the beginning too.
Yeah.
He had made one comment from back in the day, and correct me if I'm wrong. How about you start? How much was your dad involved with the very beginning wrap?
Yeah, so my
vehicle change.
Yeah, my whole background comes from my father, from sign painting and hand lettering before vinyl was ever even invented. So
wow.
I have literally witnessed the birth of vinyl all the way up to what we are now with the vinyl wraps and graphics that go down on cars that are just insane and beyond really what your imagination can take you. Whatever you can think of can really be done. And just kind of witnessing that from the beginning where we had vinyl that came on just 12-inch rollers, 12-inch vinyl, and your plotter was basically like a typewriter. Okay. And your fonts were cartridges, and you would just stick the cartridge in it, and you would have to type out all your dimensions, and you'd have to type out the lettering with no screen. So you couldn't even visually see what you're doing. It was just... You had to type it in like on a typewriter. You put your font in a cartridge. You load up your vinyl, and then the cutter would just cut out your lettering.
But at that time, the alternative was hand paint.
Hand lettering. Yes. So that's where, my dad originally in the 70s when he kind of got going was just tractor-trailer lettering, some signage and advertising signage, but it was just
boats.
all lettering, like hand painting, so pinstriping. My dad's a really good pinstriper.
Wow. That's a talent.
That's a talent.
That's a talent beyond what I can even do.
I think
by far.
Most people can't. When you look at them, how they drag and
they drag their pinkies, and there's like the feather, it's crazy, mind blowing.
To me, what's mind blowing about a pinstriper is how they can duplicate one side to the other side without even looking at the other side, and it being spot on.
Unreal.
All the lines are spot on between the depth, the thickness, the stroke, where they start. Yeah. And it's just, I can't do that. So I've got a pretty steady hand, but
like the layers.
You still go to some of these shows where you get some of the old school pinstripers, and they'll sit there and pinstripe on some people's stuff and phone cases. And most people, I don't think, really appreciate what's being done and how awesome that is and how difficult it is. My mind doesn't work that way to be able to do that.
Mine
I can't draw a straight line with a ruler.
Yeah, it definitely takes some technique and some skill on another level to kind of be able to do that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where my dad started, my family started, come from, family-owned business, basically. So growing up through school, high school, getting in trouble, go to the shop, you'd have to remove vinyl off of old vehicles, things like that. So that was always... The punishment, you did something wrong at school, you can come to the shop this weekend and remove vinyl all weekend. So,
fun.
Yeah, that's kind of like where we started. when vinyl wrapping came into play, usually right around the early 2000s. So right after I graduated high school, I went into full-time with my dad. Then we were doing signs, banners, graphics, things like that, tractor trailer lettering. And then I kind of left for a couple years and just went to find myself in a couple other things. And I came back around when I was 23, so this would have been around 2003. And my dad was doing vehicle wraps. And he's like, Josh, you got to check this out. This is new. He was doing a whole dually bedside in one piece, and it blew my mind because
like, how is he doing this?
Yes, never in a million years would you be able to cover a whole bedside of a dually with vinyl because
so what
it's
do you
just
do, pieces at a time, just to kind of like around here, around there, or just
usually it was always just cut vinyl. You could only
do parts of it.
Yeah. You have to create your graphics, or you do a lot of overlays.
Yeah.
You have to overlay layers and layers and stuff like that. But that's with like vinyl that will lay down bubbles and does not stretch.
Yeah.
It's meant to be flat surface only. So that was where vinyl graphics originally started. So when I came back in 2003 and he showed me this vinyl wrap, I was like, oh my God, this is going to change everything.
Yeah.
Like this will change
Game
everything.
changer.
And I knew that the custom car industry was going to have the biggest effect. To what effect, I didn't know, especially to what it's gone to now. But it's like, it's beyond what I ever imagined. But I knew that when that came out, like, this is going to change everything for the custom car scene.
It's hard for even myself, maybe probably not for you as much, but when you're walking through shows now and you're seeing vehicles on the floor, as you're walking by, it's hard to really kind of separate the paint from the wraps.
It is.
And a quick walk. I mean, you can look, once you get
once you
close,
get detail, you can see it.
Yeah. But from far, it's difficult, and it's. I mean, I feel bad for all the painters because there's so much time and work in a solid paint job. But your craft, though, too, has gone so far beyond what it was
same amount of work
before.
Yeah.
It's now the same amount of work. Like,
because you're tearing the whole car apart to do a full color change.
Yeah, we're taking doors off. We're taking all the molding and handles and trim out. And we're wrapping all the door jambs, and people are doing, custom printed door jambs now. So you're doing custom prints, and you're wrapping all your jambs in whatever kind of print or graphic that you want.
Yeah.
Comic book characters or spider webs. So you can
people are crazy.
Literally. I mean, we've gone through wrapping the frame on our trucks before. I've wrapped the entire frame on my truck, and my SEMA build that I did a number of years ago
the hardest
was
part, getting all that gunk off that frame.
You got to
for sure. You got to
clean it, sand it, strip
How many
it.
gallons of acetone did you go through?
Oh man. I mean, it's sanding all the little weld marks off and all the little nipples from the weld and get it to smooth, because you want it to be all nice and smooth.
Which is the same thing you would do for paint too.
Exactly, it's the same kind of prep. So it's definitely gone to more of an extreme in that sense, where we go just as far as painters do in preparation, and now even quality. Really, if you're going out and the top wrappers out there, their wraps basically look like a paint job, to where you almost have to disassemble the car to see seams or to see where they've tucked everything and how well they've tucked their corners. And that's the biggest thing is on a vehicle wrap really is like your corners, your edges, all your trimming and cutting, your overlaps, are they nice and clean?
Yeah.
How do you make it as clean and paint-like as possible is like the evolution to what wrapping has gone to.
Yeah.
Now, what manufacturer of vinyl was really the one that kind of worked with you guys to develop these products? Were there multiple manufacturers, or was it just one specific one?
There's the original one that started, everything was 3M.
Okay.
So 3M was the original that came out with their digital print media, where you could throw it through a printer, print whatever you wanted, and then wrap a vehicle. And that's what it was originally designed for. Vehicle wraps were straight designed for advertising. Yeah. Wrap your vans, your mechanical vans, anything for plumbing vehicles, just regular advertising. Yeah. So that's where it started, and then eventually it got into the color change. Now, the first ones that came out with color change would be 3M.
Okay.
3M, and this is where I was the very first person to have a color changed vehicle debut at SEMA.
Wow.
I do believe I'm also the first person to have a vehicle wrapped and debuted at SEMA, at the SEMA show. So in 2009, I believe it was.
It's rad, huh?
That's awesome, man.
I mean, there was vinyl on cars.
For
like
sure, absolutely,
the vinyl decals and some
fully
graphics,
wrapped.
but
Die cuts.
fully wrapped vehicles. So we wrapped Sean Carlson's Dodge Challenger that debuted for Dodge in the Dodge booth, I believe, in 2009.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
And that was like front end chrome painted. He had painted the whole front end in chrome, and then we wrapped the entire car, meeting up with the chrome with this crazy graphic.
Wow.
And he had done an amazing build on the car and everything like that. So that was my first year going to SEMA and just attending the show, which I had heard about before, never really experienced, and didn't know a lot about. But once I went, was blown away. And
you're probably blown away at the opportunities that you have for yourself.
To go to the show, see my car on stage, have a huge crowd of people around to look at it. You know, watch Sean talk. I think 2009, I believe 2009.
It was a rad time.
That was a crazy time.
Yeah, because I think maybe 2008, but I'm pretty sure it was 2009. But then the following year, I think, was 2010, and that's when we had teamed up with, I teamed up with RJ DeVera from Maguire's, and Maguire's was starting to do color changes and bringing in this film from Europe, and 3M Europe and 3M America are kind of two separate entities.
Okay.
And you're talking about Maguire's, like the
car
polish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Maguire's is actually owned by 3M.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they were bringing. RJ was getting material from Europe 3M and bringing it over here, and they were going to start doing a kind of like their own wrap. It's called Raptivo, and they were going to do their own line of vehicle wraps, like custom show wraps. And they brought the material from Europe, and we wrapped, like, I think 3 vehicles that went to the SEMA show the following year. And I wrapped a BMW M3 wide body, Vorsteiner wide body. Yeah. That was the very first color change car ever to be displayed at SEMA. And that kind of really blew me away a little bit more when I went to the show, because I showed up a couple days after the show had started.
Yeah.
And when I walked up to see the car, everybody was like, "Oh my God, dude, this is crazy. I've never seen a wrap like this. Dude, can I meet you? Oh my God." And I was like, whoa, taken back, like, okay.
Really blown away.
Really, like, kind of overwhelming and wasn't really ready for that.
Yeah.
So that kind of is where the color change started to take off from there. And then 3M started coming out with more colors. Then you had like Avery eventually jumping on board, and they started coming out with, their colors and their wrap media. And then you had other people like Hexus and Oracal and Arlon and stuff like that. They come out and they have to compete and stuff like that. But the big, producers of material are going to be 3M and Avery.
Yeah.
That's typically what we like to use. Yeah. A little bit of Oracal, a little bit of KPMF. Some other films, but we try to stick with 3M and Avery. They're just the most. They have the most backing.
So now you started I mean, we're in the early 2000s, and now if you fast forward to today, from where you were at the beginning, you had the first, it was first of many back along the way. That has opened the doors for many awesome projects. Like, what are some of your top 10 projects and companies, besides, of course, like our Gibson vehicles and everything, like,
you're my favorite one. You're my best experience I've had in my career. You know that.
All that gold.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
Because, I mean, I see on your Instagram and your posts some of these just crazy race
crazy
cars, like, one-off. I'm sure some of these cars are virtually priceless that you've touched.
Yeah, so I think that's the biggest thing that I have to sit back and realize in my career, really, that I never really thought is where vinyl wrap would take me in my career. The people that I've had a chance to meet, the cars that I've gotten a chance to do, the projects I've been involved with. I never in a million years thought that I would be able to do some of the things that I've done because of wrapping cars.
Yeah.
I've been to Malaysia to go wrap a car.
Wow.
I've been to Japan to go wrap a car. I go all over the country to wrap vehicles, wrap stores.
Wow.
So lots of travel, which has taken me places I didn't think I'd go.
Yeah.
Celebrities, definitely got to meet some celebrities.
Who are your favorite
Goldberg.
ones?
Well, I don't know if I have any like favorite celebrities because I don't. I mean, I've like ran into Travis Pastrana and met him a couple times.
Okay.
If I look back on some of the coolest things, like a number of years ago when Travis jumped his car off of the Long Beach Pier and landed on the barge, we wrapped the double-decker bus for Red Bull at the time for their advertisement. And there's like a big picture of Travis, jumping off with his car. So
Rad.
we wrapped the bus at the time, and at the same time, Travis and the Nitro Circus had just finished filming their new Nitro Circus video.
Yeah.
So we got invited to go to Red Bull and sit with Nitro Circus and Red Bull in their private studio and watch the new premiere of Nitro Circus.
Wow, that's
with
epic.
Travis Pastrana and the Nitro Circus crew. So like Travis came up, said hi to us. I brought my wife and my employees, brought everybody down to just get the experience.
I mean, you don't have to be starstruck on somewhere swinging from someone's nuts to appreciate that type of opportunity,
No, it's
whatever
awesome.
it be.
Yeah.
Like, that's awesome. Like,
just to go experience that was something so rad. So things like that.
You did a couple of like Lexus. Was it Lexus or Toyota race cars?
Yeah, so Nissan. I did the Nissan Delta Wing prototype, which was a one-off, multi-million-dollar prototype vehicle.
Wow. Now, when you're working on a car like that, I mean, there's obviously things that can go wrong, even from a wrap perspective. But are you pulling this car apart too to try and hide and tuck it, or is it kind of like just make it around the outside, hide it from where you can see it?
No, when we get into cars like that, so we also did like the Nissan LMP1 prototype car that was also in a Super Bowl commercial, which I got flown out to Coda, watch them film the Super Bowl commercial, and they flew me out just in case something was wrong with the vinyl.
That's
like,
crazy.
Sit here for 4 days.
It's a big deal, though.
It is a big deal. It's super fun.
What if they scratched it, you had to replace pieces
exactly.
on it?
If something gets scratched, I just needed to be there to put vinyl on to fix the car. But when you're going through stuff like that, it's a multi-million-dollar car. So there's plenty of guys there who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they get all that stuff ready. They prep it for you. They take things apart, whatever you need done. So all you have to do really is worry about, applying the vinyl and doing your job correctly. Yeah. They'll take care of all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
so like with our last guest, we were talking about how we kind of are a product of our we're a product of our own environment, right?
Sure.
And I feel like you have a very similar environment to us and many of our guests, people in the industry, of kind of where we were brought up from and stuff. You were saying too, like how you guys are heavy into boats.
Yeah.
Give us a little background, like on how did you get into the boats? Because now wraps. Before there was a time where like you wouldn't dare put vinyl on a boat,
on water,
on the water.
Actually,
install it.
Don't tell
work.
my dad that. Don't tell my dad that, because my dad put vinyl on all of his race boats. Okay,
that's awesome.
As soon as he could cut and do stuff, you bet your ass he was slapping vinyl on his race boats. So,
sick.
Which I found really interesting on the couple of other podcasts that you did with some of your other guests was the boat racing background, because that is a lot of my background. I come from Formula One tunnel boats, watching my dad race Formula One tunnel boats. Like you mentioned, I think we talked, a couple people like the Seabolds, Scott Gilman, Greg Foster, Ron, Rick Hoffman, and Ron Hill. All those people are way back in my background when I was younger.
And this is when the boat racing had television, everything.
It
was
deal.
huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was big. And this is, my dad goes from before there was ever capsules.
Oh, wow.
So we're talking about the dangerous times of crashing. And, we've seen my dad ejected out of the boat, being flipped upside. My dad's had his best friend pass in his arms before at a testing out in Parker. So he's been through it. He's seen it with the racing stuff. Our family has been through it and seen it, and other things down the line through just trauma and going through racing. But that is where my motorsports background comes in, where it helps me in my career now, because going back and being involved with motorsports and understanding, graphics, what makes a vehicle look good, what makes a boat look good, what makes a car look good. Having that kind of eye, I think, comes from just being around my dad for all those years and watching him do the boats and coming up with designs.
You're not racing if you're just going out there to go rip around. When you're racing, you have an eye for perfection and improvements and looking at everything from I want to say like an engineering standpoint, right?
Yeah.
But you almost are trying to understand why everything is what it is and why it can't be something else. And you're looking for that next step and trying, it's just being competitive, trying to just outdo someone constantly.
Yeah.
I think too, for me, if I'm doing a wrap on anybody's vehicle, whether it's their personal vehicle or even a race car, I know it's a representation of them. And when they get into that car, if it looks good, they feel good.
True.
They feel more confident getting into a really cool looking race car.
Of course.
And if you're confident, you drive better.
Yeah.
You race better. You're more engaged. So, it's not just like a job for me. It's a passion. Like,
Yeah.
I love what I do. I love my job. I love hearing. We just did a wrap for this guy Dean and for Atlas Suspension, and he was like jumping his truck out at Off-Road
we saw
Expo.
that. Yeah, I think
The
we all
purple
saw
one.
that video,
so
right?
he has like blown up. He's getting all these free sponsor deals now.
Nice,
People are throwing
good.
in free parts. Off-Road Expo Arizona are like paying for him to come out and jump his truck
Dude,
and
Because he
show
went
off.
huge the
Yeah.
first
Yeah,
few
so he went like
times.
huge, and like I hear those stories, and and Fernando, he's like, dude, it's because of your rap. It's because of your rap, and I'm like, it's not because of my rap. It's because of you guys. Like
Exactly.
you guys give me your projects. You guys let me be involved.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
massive.
take it as appreciation. I appreciate it. I'm honored that you let me be involved in your projects, like even yours and Chance's truck, I take so much pride in it because I know what a representation it goes for you guys.
Yeah.
That it's, needs
That's what
to
sets you apart,
be-
though, from a lot of the people. I mean,
Yeah.
there's the Mako paint jobs.
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
and
But
there's-
Passion.
you love that outcome
Passion.
too. It's like you love seeing the finished product. Like, even for us, like
absolutely.
when we're producing content, it's like I love seeing that finished product. You're
Absolutely.
like, holy crap, man!
Well, like I
This
just
looks
we were
good.
having a
Yeah.
conversation off camera. I'm just like, because we were trying to figure out the wrap for Chance's truck. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm just gonna take myself out of all the decisions from this point moving forward.
You just do it.
Like you need to do this
And
because
usually
this
when
is
I
where you
finish
get-
it, it'll be fine. And, it
And
comes
he's
out good.
never
Yeah.
let me down with anything.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my god, that's cool.
That
How'd you come up with
trust-
the design? And
that
I've
trust
never
is a big
really been
deal.
able to say like, oh yeah. That was all me, it's his imagination. Even Chance, on his Razor, learned too. Like, Dad, why can't Josh just do something for this and make it cool? I go, well, it doesn't always work that way. He needs something to start with, but
Yeah.
that's what he does because he has that creative mindset.
Absolutely.
And he's got a great team. Him and his wife run the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're-
my wife.
They
boy.
complement each
Man.
other so well. It's family run. The kids are there. Everything it's very welcoming and hard. And you guys make it work. And any couples out there that work together or even have parents that work together can understand the struggles. And it's tough. And yet you guys make it work.
We
Have
do.
a great
We're a
family,
good team,
beautiful
for sure.
kids. And on top of your qualities, awesome. So
Thank you.
I've got a question. If you were to be in let's just say a Chevy Silverado, and you're going to hammer it out, and you were in a race, how fast could you wrap that Silverado? Full color change, but I'm talking like a pour one, like no jams, just change that color. Like I want the cheapest, fastest way possible. How long would it take?
I could probably wrap a truck in like 6 to 8 hours, like minimum, no problem.
So now, if you were to
Remove
do
some
it,
handles and some mirrors and slap the vinyl on it, color change it. 6 to 8 hours, I could knock out. a
now
truck
is that
pretty
the daily visual way? Because if you're going to
Well,
be
you just asked me for the fastest, quick, slap it on, knock
Perfect,
it
okay.
out, get it
So
out
That's
the
not
door.
the daily visual.
But so
way.
now,
No,
if
that
we
is
want
not-
it done right,
Of course.
how much time do you really have to do it right, and something that you can get behind?
Typical vehicles can run anywhere from like 4 days to 5-6 days for a traditionally difficult vehicle. If we're getting into doing like door jams and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's 7 days
Crazy.
roughly to take all the
That's
doors
a lot of
apart,
time.
wrap all
Yeah.
the jams. We wrap the whole inside of the doors themselves
Yeah.
and the jam.
Jeez, man.
We got a couple really cool projects that we're doing right now for the new Black Panther movie reveal. I can't say
I was
too
going to ask
much,
you about
but-
that, but I wasn't sure if I could.
I can't say too much, but the Black Panther movie reveal, that is kind of like a double layer wrap. So they will be at SEMA. You can see them at SEMA.
Rad.
And it's a double layer wrap where the entire wrap is base layer of one color satin, and then a whole nother layer of a wrap with a design cut out.
Wow.
It's like a big giant die cut going on top of it.
On top of it, so it's showing the color through the other color. And it's a lot of lines. And
it's
a lot
wild.
it's.
I was trying to hint to him, like, maybe we could do some of that.
And I was like, SEMA crunch
time.
Let's see, you have to leave next Thursday.
That's not gonna work out.
So yeah.
How rad though, man.
Yeah, we got.
So that one's going to SEMA.
Stuff. Yeah, that will be at SEMA. There's actually 2 of them. We did like an LC 500 for Lexus and then an RX as well. We actually 3 of them for Lexus. I do believe all 3 of them will be at SEMA, but I think we have somewhere around 15 to 20 vehicles going.
Oh my god!
If I counted, I'd probably say we're up into the 20s this year.
How many are already done, or how many have to get finished still?
Boy,
that's always the question.
Don't answer that. You're gonna make me feel bad about ours right now.
Man, I probably still have 5
to finish.
5 to finish, I think.
Do you have them all in your possession already?
No.
Or are you still waiting?
Still waiting. I got a couple that are coming next week that we're waiting on. And that's to me, this is what I find funny. It's nothing against anybody because I'm not putting anybody. Everybody's got a lot of work to do.
Absolutely, for sure.
And when you're doing a build on a vehicle and it's going to SEMA, there is a lot of work to do. I am not disrespecting nobody.
Yeah.
But I usually have to deal with like 30 of those projects that everybody is all deadlining last minute.
And you're the last step.
And we are. We are typically the last step because you don't want anything getting damaged. You don't want anything getting harmed,
Man.
So it is a real squeeze, and it's a circus to try to arrange everybody, schedule everybody.
I mean, vehicles leave on Friday, and he's chasing all of those vehicles out Saturday, Sunday, and even applying some of the sponsors' logos and some stuff at the show, running around. Like,
spent days out there,
I mean, and then once the show starts, I think he sleeps for 2 days. And then
I still go for the first day, and then I sleep for the next 2 for sure. Yeah. And then I miss all the show because I'm too busy doing everybody's stuff, and I can't go enjoy all the cars that I get to do, But seeing everybody's. Hearing everybody's stories, seeing everybody's pictures, how proud they are of their cars and stuff like that when it's all said and done.
Makes it worth it.
It makes it worth it, and I do love what I do, and I do love the experience that we get from it. And, seeing everybody happy at the end of the day and everybody have a successful show with a successful car with no issues or no major complaints, then I'm, good to go.
You have to love it, man. For how much you work, you have to love it.
Yeah.
He does it, but he's also, too, you race go-karts.
Yeah, man, trying to get out this weekend if I can, but I got a lot of SEMA projects that have to get done first.
You're like, damn, we're going to be racing. I'm like, okay, well, I can respect that. I've done that before.
Absolutely.
Like, hell yeah.
But, work comes first.
Yeah.
You have a side-by-side? You go to the desert a lot? I mean.
Yeah, we do some off-roading in the desert, and so that has also helped just through my business and demographic and opening up my business to other companies. And that is something that I've kind of pushed my company towards is more business related instead of personal stuff. Now we still get your personal vehicles in. You want your side-by-side done, we can do that. Yeah. But like doing more corporate stuff has led me to actually have more friends to enjoy my personal time with, such as yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of my customers have turned into more friends.
100%.
Cool.
And we go out and we enjoy time outside of work.
Yep.
We see each other, whether it be in Glamis or at King of the Hammers, or we run into each other at shows. It's so much more of a friendship relationship than a business relationship that it makes it more fun. It makes it way more enjoyable. And then we can go out and, do the things like go riding in Glamis, go out and spend some time with the family.
And it's easier to, at certain points, when it comes to work and doing our company vehicles and stuff, when you have that relationship, you already kind of know what they're going to want, what they're going for.
Yeah.
And how many times now like, here, Josh, just do it. Whatever you think. You probably get that more often than not now.
Yeah. A lot of stuff comes in through already pre-done graphics, whether their company does it themselves or they need me to do it and stuff like that. What I find like really enjoyable too is when you come with Chance and even you're doing something personal for Chance's razor, that is your personal time, I find that enjoyable because you are getting time with your boy to, bond, have that time together and just being involved in that, it makes me like sometimes it'll feel like I'm part of the team, whether it's your race car or your personal stuff.
Yeah.
And I get to be there with either a husband and wife while they discuss their rap or their graphics.
That's cool.
And they ask me for their input. I get like a lot of enjoyment out of that, being involved in that kind of stuff and being involved with you and Chance. And, Chance wants to come in and he's asking me, Josh, what do you think? And, and I'm like, dude, this is your truck. What do you think?
What do you want?
You're the one driving it. But,
but you need that
it makes
opinion,
me,
man.
Yeah, it makes me feel good that, you guys depend on me to help you out and stuff like that for your family stuff, not just business stuff, but your family vehicles and stuff like Chance's Razor that you guys go out and race. So everything like that, it's good.
You know what you should do? You should diversify a little bit, and the holidays are coming around, and have a gift wrapping section too, where you can wrap people's gifts for them.
Like, just what I want. Great,
dude. So that is the funniest part is I am the worst at wrapping presents. I cannot wrap a gift. It is horrible. None of my edges are the same.
Race car, but
dude, yeah, I can wrap a turtle. Okay,
Yeah.
like you give me a turtle shell, I can wrap a turtle shell, but I could not wrap a present. I cannot wrap a present.
It's square. That's the thing.
No, I can't
Straight
fold
lines.
those edges and the cuts. It's not sticky. It doesn't stick already.
It's true. Yeah,
you have to use tape to hold it. I know.
All of his kids' presents are all just wrapped with vinyl.
That's easy.
And it takes them 2 hours to unwrap their gift.
They're ripping it off.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's for sure. I'm not a good gift wrapper. You'd be surprised.
You should wrap something for your wife like that in a box and just watch her struggle taking that thing apart
Like,
for
what
2
the heck?
hours.
Things that I get for my wife, I can't even wrap because I don't have time to wrap them. I just give them to them right in the box. Here, I didn't have time. I went shopping last night because I just got done working.
Yeah.
So
Hey, baby, Amazon's here. I think it's your gift. Go get it.
Yeah, that's kind of my deal right there. So my gift wrapping skills and presentation is not good on the personal side.
So
it's more business side.
Right. Well, did you know his father put our Gibson sign on our building?
Oh, rad.
That's so far back we go.
Damn.
My dad put.
That's so we're talking 97, I think.
I was gonna say it had to be like 30-something years ago, probably close to it.
Close to it, yeah. Because when we moved from Yorba Linda, it was around 97, I think, 98 when we got that building out in Corona.
Yeah.
And it's
so
still
crazy.
there, right? Right
Yeah.
now, the paint's kind of coming off. We're starting to see the original purple and yellow.
It's definitely not the same color as it originally was.
That color's coming through still. Like it's almost like it's aware that the 90s are coming back, and the colors are trying to fight their way back forward.
Yep.
But we just talked about that the other day, how crazy and how far back me and you just go from our parents doing business with each other all the way back into the 90s.
It's a small world.
It is such a small world.
Never know. Like
I know. And the people we run into do the same thing. How many people you know through other people and other demographics? It's just a matter of one or two people.
Yeah.
Well, it's like when you walk into Siemens, it just looks like this giant, massive industry, and you don't realize so many. It's all connected.
It is,
together. Yeah. Like the hundreds of thousands of people there. We're all connected through someone somehow. Like, and all you have to do is introduce yourself to anyone and everyone.
Yep.
I get to see quite a bit of different demographics of business, whether it be the sign industry, whether it be the automotive industry, the aftermarket automotive industry.
It's massive.
It is, and even motorsports. I would say the aftermarket industry has the closest niche of people who kind of just know each other almost like family, because it's not that it's small, because it's huge. Like, the industry is really big, but it seems so small when everybody knows each other.
Yeah, true.
But, like, you don't get that with the sign industry. Like, in my sign and wrap industry, like, people don't know each other like the aftermarket industry knows each other.
I wonder why.
It's just another job. It's just not a passion.
So for some people it is a passion, but, like, off-roading is so much more personal when you're out doing it.
True.
Than, like automotive sales. The auto industry for sales, people love their cars and they have a passion for it. But, like, when you're off-roading or you're out with your family and you're doing your, that kind of deal, it has so much more meaning to it for you personally. So I think that helps with the industry being more connected.
True,
with
that
each
makes
other.
sense, yeah.
And it just seems like no matter what company I do a wrap for, somebody always knows somebody at that company or knows somebody or is like, oh, do you use Josh? Yeah, I use Josh. Oh, you use Josh? No way. That's crazy.
Cool,
how do you know him?
That's
I've
massive.
known him for years. So it is crazy how everybody just kind of
So now not everyone can afford to fly you out and do their wraps or come down here to Southern California. What would be some questions or advice you would give some people who are maybe not locally around here going to get a wrap done? What would be some questions that they should ask or quality or things they should make sure before just choosing some random pop-up shop on the corner?
Yeah, definitely do your homework. I think education is always key. No matter what you're trying to do, you want to educate yourself on your materials, your shop.
Yeah.
What kind of maybe printers if you're getting a printed wrap done.
Yeah.
See some samples of their things. Typically, like I mentioned earlier, 3M or Avery are going to be your number one materials that you're going to want to be looking for, possibly using, and see if you question their capabilities. Maybe ask just to see their work prior. Make sure they're not, using knives and cutting on vehicles. Things like that is a big thing. That you want to use knifeless tape.
Yeah.
Is really important
because it can actually preserve the paint if done right. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, goodness, all of my vehicles have always been wrapped, and whenever I take my wraps off,
it's like brand new.
It's like brand new. My paint is literally brand new.
It's not going to damage the paint, right?
If you're not taking care of your vehicle or your wrap, it's always going to it can have an effect on the paint because you're just not taking care of the vehicle or taking care of the wrap in general. But that's going to happen to your paint job if you're not taking care of it.
True.
But if you're still taking care of your vinyl wrap as if you would normally take care of your car, you just wash it and clean it, then absolutely. The paint is going to be just as good as the day that you put it on when you remove it. Typical lifetime on a wrap is anywhere from 3 to 4 years for everyday outside use.
Yeah.
If your garage
kept.
A
lot. I mean, long time.
I mean, we have that's obviously too, if you have it on the sides, it'll last a lot longer than the hood or roof.
Of course. But a garage kept car, you'll get maybe 4 to 5 years out of it, and it's always maintenance. How well you take care of it.
Is it the colors going away or the material?
So you have a couple different things can happen actually with the wrap when you have deterioration. Typically, you start to see a browning effect, and it almost looks like rust. And what that is,
it happened to our Jeep because I didn't take care of it at all.
And that's what happens if you don't wash it. If you're not washing it, you're not cleaning it. What happens is it's like pollution. Pollution and fallout is just settling onto the top surface.
Oh, wow.
And as you don't wash it or you don't clean it, it slowly starts to burn its way into the top coat.
Okay.
Now, if you've got, if you haven't washed your vehicle in a month, and you come out in the morning and you have morning dew on your vehicle, that morning dew is like a magnifying glass. So whether you have paint or if you have a vinyl wrap and you haven't washed your vehicle for a month or two, that morning dew is like a magnifying glass with the sun burning all of that fallout, all of that pollution into your paint
or the wraps.
or into your wrap.
Wrong. I thought that layer of dust actually protected it from the sun.
Sometimes you really want to get tree sap to give the best kind of protection. If you get a lot of tree sap and cover that whole thing, you'll get some really good spotting protection right there.
Spotty protection.
Yeah.
Sean, wash your vehicle, put some wax on it, dummy.
Please.
But that's what you start to see from breakdown on a wrap. Typically for color change stuff and even your printed wraps, and that's going to be mostly on your top surfaces, wherever you see the morning dew that really breaks out on your car, whether it be just the top of your door seams, it's always at the top of your door or always on the roof or always in those areas on the hood.
You see where it sets on it.
Exactly. And if even if you see a paint that's oxidized and you have that white oxidation, if you come out in the morning, you'll see that morning dew is sitting all where that oxidation is.
Yeah.
And it's all on the side of your doors, just about below the window frame, and it's all in the top of your hood and in your roof, and it's all in the top of the moldings because that's where the dew sits, and that's where it bakes into your clear coat and into your wrap, and that's what starts to deteriorate it and break down the clear coat. So ceramic coating is obviously a really good protectant. Yeah. You can still do ceramic coating on a wrap.
Do you offer ceramic coating to at your place?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
do you
ceramic
recommend
coating
it every time someone gets a wrap?
Yeah, I would say Not every time. If it's a short term, if it's going to be like a race vehicle, then I would say no. Yeah. But like if you're going to SEMA and you really want it to be super shiny and really want it to look good and bling, throw a coating on it, man. Yeah. It'll be super, super shiny. Wow. It'll definitely enhance all the coloring that you have, whether it's a printed wrap or a solid color change. Ceramic coating enhances the color. It does give protection. It does make it last longer. Washing and cleaning and maintenance is a lot easier. Yeah. So just things like that, bird poop. The biggest example that I thought really was kind of blew me away is we did a matte green CLS. Customer brings it back, and it is completely covered in tree sap. I mean, covered front to back, dots everywhere. And I was like, dude, this wrap is trash, man. This thing is trash. Yeah. Like I don't think this is gonna come off. We ceramic coated the wrap prior. It washed off 100% with just a basic wash. You could walk up and flick the sap like that, and it would just flick right off the top like a paint chip.
Insane.
It blew me away.
It won't settle into it.
It did not settle into it at all. And I was like, holy
crap, Mother's now has like
dude.
A spray bottle of the ceramic coat now, like a spray wax with it.
There's always that kind of stuff. But I think a true real ceramic coat is the way to go.
Is it applied like a wax, like by hand? Or?
It is applied by hand. It's just a very small little bottle of liquid, a small little applicator, and you just kind of drop a number of drops on the applicator, and you just kind of like rub it in. Yeah. You got to wait for about 30 seconds or so for it to flash, and then you take like a leveling towel and you just kind of level it out. It's not really like it's a buffing technique. Yeah. It's just round, but you're actually leveling out the coating. So the coating, when it's put in it drops, it just kind of leaves lines everywhere.
Yeah. But once you buff it out,
it flattens because you're leveling all the coating out, and if you don't level it out, it hardens like that. So you would, because it's a hardener. That's what ceramic coating is. It's a hardener for your paint. Yeah. Hardener. So it's basically laying down a hardener over the top, and it's clogging all of the pores of your paint, your matte finishes, so it doesn't absorb it, and it sits on top. And that's what the ceramic coating is like intended to do.
Does it make the wrap harder to take off afterwards?
That's a great question.
You know, I would think about it, it's like you're putting, a coat on top of it.
So I've had a couple of cars come in that we've removed that had coating on it. Yeah. And I kind of felt like it was something different about it. Not that it was harder to remove. Yeah. It just maybe like the film felt different in my hands after it was off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I've done it
almost
enough.
A little harder.
Yeah, like almost plasticky or more like brittly, Okay. But like typically when you heat up the vinyl, it gets very soft. It gets very like spongy and soupy, Yeah. But as it hardens, it gets hard and just stays in that shape. So, I mean, that's the way like vinyl's actually made. There he is.
There's your jokes. That's crazy, man.
So cast vinyl is actually made to harden. So like as you heat it up and you're stretching, the heat will warm it. You can stretch it, you can bend it, and then as it cools, it hardens and it holds that shape. And that's why they call it cast vinyl, because it's like forming made out of a cast. You heat it up, it cools, and it hardens, and it holds the shape.
Wow.
And then if you reapply heat to it, it'll go back to its original shape, as long as it's not stuck to a surface or anything like that. Yeah. So that's kind of like the cool thing about it.
What's the most unique request that you've had to wrap?
Dude, I got one coming up. Oh, man, I just got paperwork, though, on it today. I don't even know. I could maybe say I got to wrap a horse in gold chrome.
A horse?
A horse. An animal. Well, a statue.
Oh.
A statue.
I was like, a live horse? That's wild.
Not a real horse.
Sounds dangerous.
I don't think it'll
that's
stick.
Sick, though. Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's going to be insane.
I got some paperwork that was sent over to me today and just got like approval on it. But yeah, that's kind of going to be weird. I got to wrap a whole statue.
That's
I mean, you ever like, since rap has kind of taken over a lot of the paint industry, there's body paint. You ever wrapped a person before?
Not a person, but I have wrapped prosthetics.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Prosthetics or the little kids kind of cranial helmets.
Yeah,
we've done a couple kids cranial helmets, which are really cool. Oh, dude, we made one that looked like a little fighter pilot's helmet.
Rad,
it had like fighter pilot goggles on it. It had like straps. Yeah, somebody was wearing it. Looked like he had a fighter pilot.
That's genius.
Yeah. We made some cool things like that. So
genius.
That is fun stuff to do when we get like just little cool projects. We could be real creative for something small like that. Yeah, just have fun with it. Like, let's throw some goggles on it, and some straps, little
so
wings
on
the side.
Online or your computer, and you print it out.
Yeah, we just designed it and print it out, and then I wrap the helmet. So
do you guys? Do you ever wrap like moto helmets or anything like that?
Oh yeah.
It's crazy, like a big thing now, huh?
Yeah, we do.
Dude,
We've
how
done
do you
some
get
moto
it so
helmets, some
circular,
drift
like-
helmets for drift guys,
Sick,
some of the race
man.
guys. So it's just helmets are difficult. They have to be kind of seamed differently.
Yeah.
When I design a helmet or I put together a helmet wrap, I try to design it based upon where I could seam it and how it has to be seamed to put together to try to eliminate misalignment.
Yeah, misalignment, yeah.
Yeah, things that just don't look good, or because it stretches a lot. You know, you have to do a lot of stretching.
True, yeah.
So I try to come up with a design on a helmet that would be that's wrappable but still looks cool. You know, at the same time.
Insane.
But that's my brain when it comes to wrap is I can like kind of think outside the box about things like that. Whether it be installing a vehicle. I can like look at a vehicle and understand what needs to be wrapped, what is wrappable, what's not, what needs to be like pre-patched or done first and prior. And I'm very good at like reading vinyl. So you have to be able to like apply it. You have to be able to read
like
it.
You know it's going to stretch to this point right
exactly.
here. Okay.
How much
I learned the hard
stretch,
way on my
stuff
son's
like that.
graphics on his motorcycle, on his dirt bike.
Yeah.
Although I got one side down perfect. I got a little too comfortable with the other side and stretched it too much, and it didn't fit, and it doesn't go back. Trying to heat it up. I mean, yeah.
Messed it up.
Yeah, like when you say reading it.
You
like
can go to my YouTube channel, and you should watch some videos that I have. And it'll kind of give you a little bit of tutorial.
I think I just got like impatient after doing one side, going, I got this. And then, oh, shit, I don't have this.
I messed this one up.
Next time,
Sorry,
you
Chance.
FaceTime me.
Chance.
You can FaceTime me. Josh, I need some help. I'm
Exactly.
stuck.
No, what I
right
told
there.
Chance is you need to go to Josh's and do it there by yourself and just have him just give you some pointers along the way, and you learn how to do it.
There you
figure
go.
it out.
There you go.
He's
Send
like,
him over after
because
school.
he's thinking I don't know how to do it the
Exactly.
whole time. I'm like, bro, I've done this before. Like, it's not that
I got
difficult.
this,
Like,
dude. No problem. I've never messed
I don't
this
have
up.
to cut anything, so the lines are already going to be straight. Like, it just goes.
I'll teach him to rap. We'll give him the skills so that way
There
we
we
can
go.
help him out.
He's
And
gonna
then Dad
know.
can sit and watch, and Dad
Yeah.
doesn't have to.
Well, since you're
screw
working
it
on
up.
these late hours, you probably use a hand over. That's why I need to send him after school. Like,
Exactly.
hey, bro, go to
Dude, I got some
Josh's.
cars he can take apart, some things he can prep. Send him over.
gotta
His
learn.
truck is just sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
So if he ain't got nothing to do, he can come on over. Door handles need to come out.
Well, I need to get that truck done because now he's taking my truck everywhere.
You're
Like,
truckless.
shit. Back to taking him to school.
Oh, the struggles, man.
I know, right? Oh
The
boy,
struggles.
it's tough. Tough.
Well,
life.
right on. Well, I know you've got a lot going on. SEMA's coming up.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
thank you.
I really appreciate it. Do
sure.
you have any questions for us?
No, I mean,
I have
man,
one
you
more
guys.
question.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
earlier you were talking about 3M Europe, right?
Yeah.
Was the rapping scene earlier in Europe than
Yeah.
it is here, or how'd that work out?
Yeah, because that vinyl was produced earlier than we didn't have
didn't
color
have it
change
here.
yet.
Yeah.
We didn't have it. 3M America hadn't been making any or
Yeah.
producing any yet. So when RJ was getting that from 3M Europe, he happened to have a connection. He was getting it imported over here just for us to specifically wrap these vehicles for Meguiar's to go into their booth. And one thing I will say, which is so crazy, is their vinyl that we got from them was like hands down the best vinyl I've ever used.
This is from
Like,
where?
3M Europe.
3M
Oh,
Europe.
okay, Europe.
Just quality,
Yeah.
the stretchability, the adhesive, the colors. But
So it
this
blew
was
your mind right away.
it blew my. But this is 2010, so this is still 12 years
yeah,
ago.
the young
And this
side of
was the
vinyl.
very first time anybody had ever seen a color change vinyl. We had never seen. We'd only seen some satin black that was in a big sheet, but it was not a wrappable material. It was just kind of like a 60-inch roll of. You had to basically apply it wet almost because it wasn't air release.
Yeah.
Right now our wrap media is air release. You can rub it down with your hands
So
and
air
you
will
go
just come through
bubbles. Yeah. Well, actually, air doesn't come through it. So
Okay.
the way it's designed is there's channeling in the back of the vinyl. So if you've got a bubble, you can just kind of rub it out, and then the air disperses through the channels that are cut through the adhesive
Holy
in the
crap,
back
that's
of the
crazy.
vinyl. So when you pull the vinyl back and you look at it, you
Yeah.
can actually see the channel
It's
and
like-
the pattern
Wow.
that is cut into it. So
I had no
that's
idea.
what makes
So
it
you no longer have to, like,
bubble free.
poke it.
Yeah, you don't have to
Right.
poke it. There's no poking with the holes or anything
Right.
like that, or stabbing it or
Yeah.
cutting it. You just rub on it a little bit, and the air disperses through all the channels, and that's what
Crazy.
makes
That's
it
awesome.
an
Yeah, that's
air
awesome.
release material. That's how that works.
What a cool deal.
Yeah.
Now, like in racing, like is it NASCAR? Are they wrapping stuff or Formula
yeah.
One or any of them? Like is all
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, and I mean, I go to whenever they have this race over here at Cal Speedway.
Yeah.
I just did like Ross Chastain's
Nice, dude. The
car.
Watermelon Kid.
Yeah, we did his car for the California Speedway when it was here last year.
Yeah.
And when they did the race in at the Coliseum.
Oh yeah.
We did all the promotional vehicles, and we did the pace car.
car? Sick,
yeah, so
man.
I get to
That's
put all those
massive.
stuff, and I get to go into the track
That
and
is
like sit in the
rad.
track and wrap them. I get to like a firsthand. Wow, look at this
What a
place!
cool deal.
And then they have the Trojan marching band is in there, and they're doing their warm up and
Dude.
practice. So I get to like watch the
That's
marching band
epic.
practice.
Yeah, you've had the cool.
Yeah, that is
experience.
kinda
You're like,
like-
wait, I gotta work still. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's what some of the stuff I get to do. That my job brings me.
Yeah.
Is beyond what I could ever imagine
For
to
sure, that you
do.
would've
You
thought
know,
would
like
happen.
never would have thought that I'd be like in the middle of the Coliseum at a NASCAR track watching the Trojans, Trojan band warm up while you're wrapping cars.
Yeah.
Like it's super cool. So yeah, I definitely have really awesome experiences with my job that I wouldn't trade for anything. I left for a little while in my early 20s. And I was doing like construction and stuff, and I was like, dude, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. Like, this sucks. And I called my dad, and I said, Dad, I want to come back. Like, this is what I want to do.
But
I
you
want
probably
to.
needed
I
that
want to
go
do
too.
vinyl.
Yeah.
I did. I needed to go
Like a lot
find
of kids
myself.
will need to find themselves. And like,
Exactly.
Yeah, this sucks.
Exactly.
The
It
real world.
sucks.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
And I made the decision like I want to do vinyl wrap,
Yeah.
and that's when I knew this is what I want to
Yeah.
do for the rest of my life.
So
And,
sick though.
yeah, and it's taken off from there. This is where we are.
So
And then one more
efficient.
thing. So like aerial, like helicopters or planes, is that a different kind of vinyl? How does that work?
Yeah, there was different vinyls for anything.
Read my
Does it
mind
have
on
to be
that one.
FAA? Does it have to be FAA
aeronautical.
approved?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does. And you have to be FAA approved
to
as
apply
an
it.
installer just to apply it. Yeah.
Are you guys FAA approved?
No.
Okay.
Can't
You don't
do
even want to get in
airplanes.
there, huh?
Now,
I'm sure the insurance.
I actually
is quite
have
gnarly.
done a plane. We're not talking like 747s
Yeah.
or Boeings, little small Cessnas.
Like Cessnas and
I
stuff
can
like that?
wrap. Yeah, that
Cool.
stuff I've wrapped. I wrapped a
Rad.
little small Cessna plane before, which is pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And done a couple like small helicopter decals.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yes, you do have to have a specialty vinyl for stuff like that.
Okay.
Because it's just it can't be
The risk of it
flying
can't
up,
come off. Yeah.
up into the rotors
Exactly,
of a plane.
yeah.
Of a,
Yeah, yeah.
That's not. We've had a customer want the top of their box truck wrapped, and we told them, hey, I don't think it's a good idea. It doesn't really want to stick very good. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's going to Supercross. No, it's fine. It's for Jägermeister. We got to have it wrapped. So we wrapped the entire roof of this box truck going down the 57 freeway, woof, like a kite.
The whole wrap?
The
What?
whole wrap. The whole thing just peeled right off the top of the
And then
roof
sticks
and
to
landed
the
on a
car.
cop car.
Oh, it
Landed
landed
on
no
a cop car.
way.
Yeah, and they got pulled over. Luckily,
And it says
the cop,
Jägermeister?
it says Jägermeister. It's Jägermeister all over the box van. And luckily, the cop was a motocross fan,
That's
so
cool.
he let him go. They just vinyled up the vinyl and then put it in the back of the
No
truck and let him
way.
go.
That's
But I
insane.
warned him. I'm like, dude, you can't. This isn't gonna stick. It's fine. Just put it on there. We gotta have it on there for the aerial shots.
All right.
But yeah,
Imagine
we're
the
like,
luck
okay.
though. It flies up and lands on a cop
Oh,
car.
dude, yeah.
God.
We've had a number of those experiences for
That's-
sure.
Well,
with
tell me more.
crazy. Oh, dude.
Insane.
Yeah, you'd be
man.
surprised on how many wraps have been destroyed as they're like leaving a parking lot of our shop, getting wrapped around a pole,
Oh,
brand new
God,
fifth wheel.
dude.
I've had motorhomes that we've wrapped explode within a couple days after we finished wrapping it.
Oh,
it
that
like
hurts.
blew up. Yeah, we've had some.
Sucks.
I like the
crazy
chemicals on
things
the wrap
happen.
caused this.
It
was
they'll find
fine.
anything. Exactly.
Hey man, I just put the shit on. That's all.
Exactly. I just installed. The rest is on you.
You paid me for the labor. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't know
The
anything
integrity
else
of your
going
vehicle
on.
is on you.
Blow up.
But yeah, so
That's
lots of things
wild,
like that.
man.
Yeah, definitely
Well,
wild stuff.
How do people find you, man, out there in the world?
Yeah, you can check out my website, dailyvisual.com. My social media is probably the best way to follow me
Yeah.
or see any of the cool things that we're doing. We also have a YouTube channel, which is just Daily Visual.
Cool.
Website
Same with
is-
Instagram, too? Instagram
Instagram
Daily
is
Visual?
Daily Visual. Facebook is Daily Visual. And then you can always call us or DM us if you need anything. But yeah, we do. My motto is if the vinyl will stick, I can wrap it.
Awesome, man.
Well, that sounds like a wrap.
Exactly. That's a wrap.
That's it. Perfect.
You guys, I'll put down all this information in the description down here on YouTube. But make sure you go check him out, man. They do some really, really cool stuff. Check out some of the vehicles he's doing. It's going to SEMA. And, yeah, man.
Yep.
We're, right now, this is airing a week after we recorded it, so we're a couple days away from SEMA.
Oh yeah. So that This will air next week, Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Third.
You'll be in Vegas.
He's going to be hating Thursday.
Yeah, he'll be.
I'm going to dislike it, but he's going to be.
I'm trying to ease my schedule for next week.
Yeah.
So as long as everything goes to plan, my Thursday and Friday should be okay.
Yeah.
But then I go into moving next month. So as soon as I'm done with SEMA, I got to move my shop. So I'm like, one thing to the
moving
next.
Sucks. Moving is the worst thing in the
ends.
world, man. We just moved a couple months ago, and it was the worst thing. But once you're done, it's so nice. You're like, oh.
I know. I'm excited to get into my new building for sure. It's a beautiful building, super close to home, right down the street from you guys. So if you ever want to do another podcast, I'm right here. We can come over and chit chat and bullshit
sit in on a
again.
couple of them.
Maybe next time I need to wrap some stuff in here.
Heck
you know?
yeah, we
Put
can
a
wrap
little
a
wrap
wall.
on
We
the
can wrap
wall.
back
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
do
about.
it.
The Daley visual logo.
Dude,
on
let's do
the
it,
back.
man. That'll be our sponsor.
Do
We're
it.
gonna buy
There it is.
You got me.
Brought
I'm
to you
in.
by
I'm
Daley
in.
Visual.
We got a handshake right here.
Right
Brought to you
there.
by Daily Visual.
All right.
Your number one source for wrapping it.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're done.
Thank
See ya.
you. Thank you.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces.